9 o'clock. Wednesday night. I feel like it's like the world's slowest week. It's the weeks go slow and the years go by fast. Does that make sense? Maybe only in my own brain. I don't know. It's like, how has it gotten? I just struggle. I feel like 1 minute ago I had babies, and now I'm on the phone talking to high school juniors about, where they want to go to college. And I'm thinking, like, what happened? How did I get so old? I don't know what happened. So my name's Adrienne, and I have 4 children. They are 17, 15, 13, and 9. And my youngest is in the Special Olympics tomorrow, which is super excited. And our very good friends and neighbors brought us the sign this afternoon. So we're super excited about that. And my oldest son is applying to Boys State. I mean, this is just, I can't make this stuff up. And then meanwhile, on my desk, I have letters from my, letters from my baby. Letters from my baby's first year. There's a lot happening in this office. A lot happening. Just gotten the youngest one to bed. The 13-year-old is, doing probably what she's not supposed to. So in my memories this morning, it came up that it was a year ago that we got rid of the iPad at our house. And this weekend, I was in Minnesota speaking at the Care for Caregivers retreat that my friend Kate Swenson put on, and another friend, Amanda DeLuca. And somebody asked me, I did a Q&A after my talk, and somebody said, can you talk about giving this iPad up and what that's been like, and, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I haven't really talked about that. And I don't know why, other than the fact that it almost feels, yes, thank you, Sandy. So my son Amos, I had this jacket on the other day, and he said, Mommy is dressed in her towel costume. Thank you, Patagonia Fleece, my towel costume. How has this happened? I think my hesitation to talk about it has been that it almost feels a little bit like, I give up the iPad, and you terrible parents, you all still use the iPad, but I don't because I'm better than you. That's like in my head what it feels like, even though that obviously is not what it is. And so I'm going to just be super honest about what happened for our family and the benefits of doing that. So on Easter a year ago, and before you ask, we still do not have the iPad. So that is always the question. I think like all the moms are, the special needs moms are like, but have you brought it back out yet? Because we all know that there's no way you did that, which is like basically the story of my life. Only 2 things I've ever been successful at are starting a blog, and taking away the iPad. My third thing would be quitting smoking. But, boy, a couple days ago, I was like, gosh, Lee, darn it. I could really smoke right now. I haven't. I'm successful, but I'm not going to pat myself on the back. You just started limiting it since I talked about it on Sunday. Well, good on you, Kim. That's sort of exciting. So anyway, a year ago, Easter, we were at my cousin's house, and my subscribers heard this because they got to actually watch my video live. And he threw his iPad down the stairs. So the iPad, it broke. And we live in a small town where you can't buy an iPad. And so my first thought was, how am I going to get an iPad? So I ordered one on Walmart, and I thought I'll pick it up tomorrow morning on our way to the airport. And I did. I ordered the iPad. It's actually right here. This is this wonderful iPad that's broken, not because Amos broke it, but because I never got around to putting like a protective screen on it. And I took it recently on a train trip because I thought we might need to use this iPad, and I broke it. And I actually use it when I do stories or writing. I kind of, instead of printing out stuff all the time, I'll just read it off my iPad while I'm doing a video. But I don't need any notes for this video because it's so fresh in my brain. So anyway, I ordered the iPad, and does Blair have one? So that's an interesting story. All three of my children, my other children, had iPads. But one by one, Amos got a hold of them and they broke. So actually nobody has an iPad. Does he use an iPad at school? Yes, he does have an option to use an iPad at school for short amounts of time, like to do learning things, which I'm fine. I'm not against the iPad. In fact, I would love to be able to take it out to dinner and have him use it in a limited fashion. But the problem is, I'm not very good with limiting people. I'm not the mother that like says, today we're going to do this for 20 minutes and then we're going to do this. No, me no do that. I'm all in or nothing. So I'm like, have at it. Do whatever you want for as long as you want. And I can't be bothered to monitor you. But seriously, how do people do all this like babysitting of their children? Well, one, when there's 4 of them. And 2, like, what if you're out of town? So if you're always in control of everything, what happens when you're not there? I would think all hell would break loose. So anyway, I'm not good at that. That is me. I'm not saying that is a positive attribute. That is just an honest Adrian attribute. There are apps that will shut it down. Why do people say things like this to me? It's like being in hell. Don't say stuff like that to me. You know, I'm going to just challenge you to something. You cannot get YouTube to go away on the iPad. That was probably our biggest problem. You cannot get YouTube so that it cannot be seen anymore. How do you compare his iPad usage to shows on TV? Well, the iPad, he had access to YouTube, which is a deep, dark, terrible place where he learned the F word. And again, this is just me. He wanted to be on YouTube watching like cartoons of tomatoes getting run over with laughing like this. Well, that's what he wanted to watch. Now, he does have access to television. He has moved into my living room with the bigger television. And he watches Octonauts, Backyardigans. You deleted it on your iPad. Well, when he searches it, it will still give him the download option and then say, like, you can't download it. And then he raises holy hell. So that's just, it's terrible, right? Thank you, Molly. Molly is my friend. So anyway, so he watches these shows, Backyardigans, Octonauts, Blippi. He does like some Blippi on Prime. And he will watch TV. But when he watches television, he is not engrossed in it the same way that he was in the iPad. And probably most people that ask that to me, like, what's the difference in the TV and the iPad? No mother of a child who is autistic would ask me that question, because we all know that the difference in an iPad to a TV is huge. It's like saying, what's the difference in Teen Magazine and Penthouse? It's very different. Very different. True. So, thank you. Anne gets it. It can be blocked, your tube, if anybody's interested in doing that. I'm not here to argue. I'm going to tell you, when you have very smart children, oh my God, and now I give him the, it's like people are sick. They are very sick. They want to come on here and not listen. They want to come on and question me. You know, don't come over here. Go somewhere else. Not here. This is not an Adrian lecture. This is, I am talking tonight. No one is talking to me. I am talking. Nobody talk. I have a subscriber video. If you want to talk to me, you come over there. You can ask me a question. You are not allowed to speak here. No, it's not allowed. Shh, shh, shh. So my children have a way of taking themselves off our family plan and any limits, and like basically starting their own universe on iPads. So when you tell me that it's can be blocked, I'm here to tell you that my children are able to override that. Don't read the comments. Well, that's a freaking good idea, Kathy. You just want a free week. Send me your Venmo and I'll send you $5. Look. It's free. But then I'm such a glutton. I want to know what these fools are saying. So anyway, the TV is not a problem. If you said to Amos, do you want to go outside and jump on the trampoline, that the trampoline blew away on Sunday in the snowstorm, rainstorm, windstorm, he would say yes. If a friend comes over and says, let's do something, he is reciprocating conversation is what you're saying you don't want. That's right, Carola. Ding, 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 ding. You win. No reciprocating. No, this is not reciprocating. How could I talk to 1.8 thousand people at the same time? Have you ever had a conversation with 1.8 thousand people? I do not suggest it. It make you go crazy. This is why people smoke. True. Okay. So, TV. It's not the same thing, so it's not a problem. So when we got rid of the iPad, we discovered that Amos loved books. We didn't know he loved books until we got rid of the iPad. And this feels necessary for this conversation. My daughter Harley watches TV. Well, that's good. Okay. Put this on. Okay, there. This gives me this is my inner zen, my coonskin cap. So I'm going to show you. We found he liked books. So we went on spring break. We spent that first week about 3 hours a day in a swing, and we went to Barnes & Noble and we bought some books. Now, these are all the books we have currently. We own, I think, every Lego book on the planet, which is great. And he also loves Legos. So he's really into minifigures. And my followers have been really sweet about sending minifigures to Amos because that's what he really likes to play with. So if he's watching television, he will oftentimes choose a show that goes along with what he's reading, and then he's pretend playing. So that's great. I will also tell you a secret place to get books is Ollies. So Ollies is, I've got all these new books. Actually, somebody just mailed this Lego book. Wasn't that nice? He likes books like this. 100 Curious Words to Know. I bought, this is a new one, Monumental America. The Grand Encyclopedia of Science. The Amazing Book of Star Wars, Lego, all from Ollies. So a book like this is $4.99, and normally it would be $20. So that's just a little note. So anyway, we had a really hard week. That very first week was super hard. Yes, that's right. Subscribers conversations are back and forth. Sherry knows. So after this, we'll have the subscriber conversation where people can ask questions, and that's where you can ask them. And the first week was really hard. And it was by accident. Again, we broke the iPad. And so the next week we got home from spring break, and he thought the iPad was going to be here. It will not here. So he was upset that week, but after 2 weeks, we did okay. So I would tell you that, yes, I like Goodwill, but finding the kind of books he likes is one, we don't have a Goodwill anywhere near us, but I do love to go to him. He's not really into flags anymore. He was really into flags when he had the access to the iPad and he could listen to the national anthems. Yes, we love our local library. We have checked out every book that they have that he likes, and then have probably spent about $100 in late fees because, and then we also are very hard on books. So when we're done with the book goes to book, goodbye book. Yeah, yes they do. Yeah, yes, we bought on Amazon. I'm telling you, I know you all think you can tell me something, but sometimes I am a genius. I know the answers. It's amazing, but you've met a prodigy. My husband is taking notes. Okay, so good. That's good. I'll talk to you then. So we had 2 really hard weeks. So I would say to you, if you are thinking about taking away the iPad and you're wondering to yourself, I'm going to speak to the moms like me. It's $5 a month, $5. So come on over, Danny. I would say this to you, and I said this at my talk. You can do hard things. You can do this. I would get set up for, we're going to have a week where we're going to really adjust. What are we going to do instead? So if your child is like mine was, woke up to the iPad, went to sleep to the iPad, thought about the iPad every second of every day, in the car, on the way to school, out to dinner, basically anything we depended on this iPad. What are you going to do that week? It might be a good week to have access to the beach or sand or swings, lots of sensory everything, right? Do I wish I had done it earlier? Yeah. Now I'm just like pretending you're asking me questions and I'm answering the ones I want to ask. Yeah, I do. I wish I'd done it earlier. So the biggest things that I've seen this year are his communication with his peers. So he now calls people by name. He didn't even call his own siblings by name. And like yesterday we were outside playing and he said, Ruffin, come chase me. Ollies, not Aldi. And that's my godson and our neighbor. Or he called my friend Blair's daughter, Ansley, and Eloise. He knows everybody. It's just really nice. Okay, so Jackson's Journey said, do you let him have access to the remote or you control? So Amanda, that's Amanda, who's got Jackson's Journey, Jackson's voice. I love her. I probably would let him have access to the remote, but he doesn't know how to work the Apple remote. So I guess I'm in charge. Now he will ask me to change things. And I will also say that our caregiver is way more structured and strict than I am. And he does really better with her. She chooses what he's going to watch. She sets the limit. Then they're doing Play-Doh or they're doing all these other things where I'm kind of mom, right? Like I'm like, oh, it's okay, whatever. So he does not have access to the remote. And I hadn't even thought about that. He doesn't know how to use it. I have tried to teach him though, because now you're making me second guess that decision. Saw him at the barbecue place. Yeah, and like he used to want to sit in the car and be on his iPad. And now, yesterday we were going out buying gift cards to give away for our raffle tomorrow at Special Olympics. And he insisted on getting out of the car every single place we went, which also meant that we bought something everywhere we went. We bought, at McDonald's, he got a hamburger. At Wendy's, he got some chicken nuggets. At Subway, he got a chocolate chip cookie. He didn't get anything at the barbecue place, Old Colony Smokehouse, but he did get to go behind the counter, so he liked that. And then he didn't want anything from Taco Bell. He's scared of Taco Bell. Pizza Hut, he got cinnamon rolls. Oh, golly. So it's been successful. It's been successful. If anybody ever wants potty training ideas, divine intervention with a laptop perch, he's thriving. Yeah, I think so. I think so. And he's not, the iPad was such a brain sucker for him that now that he doesn't have it, he's more willing to do other things, like go on a walk or play with somebody or come upstairs to take a shower. Just all those things that he was totally sucked in, you know? And so if there's a family out there wondering, like, can we do it? I would say to you, like, yeah, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And you might say, well, what's my child going to do? Like, other than that, I would say I wouldn't have known that Amos could spend this much time reading and like playing Legos. Now, it is harder. Let's be honest. It is harder. We are outside more, which means I have less time to work. It's busy. So in the afternoons, we are at the playground for a couple hours, or we're out on a walk, or we're taking the scooter out. So it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard. Somebody said they told me to throw it out 2 years ago, and now you've seen the benefit. You know, I think, Jenna, when you say that, that's the reason I haven't really talked about it, is because I don't think any mom of a child with autism needs someone lecturing them. In fact, it will make you actually want to do the opposite of what somebody tells you to do. It's like somebody saying, you know, you shouldn't have that glass of wine. Well, that makes me want to like suck up a bottle or go buy 1,000 cigarettes. Like, that's just never helpful to tell somebody what they should be doing. So this is not me telling people what they should do. This is me saying, this is what we did quite by accident, and this is what's happened. Does he spend much time with the TV? Yeah, he watches the TV, but the TV is not a brain sucker, right? It's like, I'm so tickled that people are like comparing the television and the iPad. Again, teen magazine to Penthouse. They are not the same, people. The TV you cannot put in the car. You can't take the TV to restaurants. The TV can't go on walks. The TV can't get in your bed. Does he ever want to use your phone? No. So we took the iPad that we had bought, I almost said bought, that we had purchased on our train trip about a month ago. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull the iPad out. I'm going to use it when we go to dinner with his brothers. This is going to be great. And I had books. Well, you know what? He didn't want the iPad. He didn't want to look at it. He didn't want to touch it. He ain't want nothing to do with nothing. He did not want that iPad because people with autism they like something when they're used to it. And then once they're not used to it, it's like, you're dead to me. The TV is noise in the background. Ding, 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 ding. Deanna just won an award. So Amanda said, technology is so hard. It gives Jackson so much input. Like you're saying, you had to replace it with the swings. Yeah, and you know, it didn't last, Amanda. So we had to do, that was a really hard week. And then the next week was kind of hard, but I think because we had been gone and then came home. And but now the input is books, television, Legos, and the biggest input that he gets now that you've said it that way, is social interaction input. He is so much more involved with us. Does that make sense? So that's his biggest thing. He asked his sister to play. They play this game called Cross where they run around like hooligans in this house and, chase cats and dogs and act crazy. And, I mean, it's louder in here. He's not just, off in his bed on the iPad anymore. He's in the middle of everything happening. He's in the kitchen. Today he had a bowl of cereal on his head, and I made the mistake of sitting down and saying, hand that to me. And when he handed it to me, he poured a bowl of cereal on me. Shit like that. Didn't happen before. So I guess I'm just hesitant to boss anybody about what to do. Yeah, he's really opened up. So I would tell you it's been really useful. But I totally get that it's hard, and you might not be up to it. And I get that too. It might be too much. So I can only preach to what has happened here. I'm not going to pretend that we decided that the iPad was just too much, and we decided we were going to take it away because we love our son more than yours, and we just really are good parents, and we pat ourselves on the back. No, we don't do that. We sit around in coonskin caps and towel costumes, covered in Cheerios and milk. That's what we do. We're just trying the best we can. Yes, it gives you peace. That was the best part about the iPad. It gave me peace. And some of you might not understand what that's like, but when you have a child that doesn't go on play dates and doesn't play on sports teams and doesn't go out to play with other kids, doesn't go on spend the nights or sleepovers or anything, you can't talk to me about what I should do, right? Because your life is very different than mine. And for a kid without autism, you might have an iPad and your kid plays on it 30 minutes at night here and there. Well, that is awesome. If I could be the person that could smoke a cigarette on Friday nights with a glass of wine, I would smoke forever. But I am the person that if I smoke one cigarette, I'm waking up in the morning, cracking a Mountain Dew and just smoking away. So, but I also get that I live a lot of life in survival mode. And I think a lot of special needs parents do. We just are tired and we have other kids we want to give attention to and maybe a husband or a wife. And we have cleaning and laundry and or work. And if an iPad gives us an hour or two of quiet, we'll take it. So I get it. And I don't have that quiet now anymore. And I have a caregiver, so that is great. And that makes a huge difference for me. If I didn't have her, would I be able to do it? I don't know. So you're never going to have any judging from me because I know how hard it is and I have a lot of support and I have it pretty good. So this is the judgment-free zone. And if you click on my link below and you want to become a subscriber, you have found your tribe. We are supportive and non-judgy, and it's more of a conversation, which it seems, judging by the comments and questions people are asking, that there are about, 400 people that should become subscribers because they're so chatty. They just want to ask stuff. Chitty, chitty, chatty, chatty. Come to the subscriber page. Carry on, my people.